Pushpa, first of all, thank you very much for sharing with us your valuable time. My first question is, how is the concept of civil society understood in India?
The term civil society is not a very commonly used or understood terminology. We refer to the sector in India as largely the voluntary sector. It's the larger organizations and foundations who understand the moment you say civil society or CSOs. But by and large, people refer to the sector as the NGO sector or the non-governmental organizations. We at GuideStar India have tried to look at what should be the definition of a CSO or an NGO for the purposes of GuideStar India. That's because in India you have different forms of entities that are broadly known as the CSOs or the NGOs. So we looked at some of the studies in the past by the organization called Priya, who partnered with JHU to kind of do a first formal study of the sector. We also interacted with Dr. S.S. Srivastava, who is the advisor also to GuideStar India and who was formerly the Director General of the Central Statistical Organization in India. So GuideStar India refers to NGOs or CSOs to those who are either societies, trusts, or entities that are registered under the Section 25 of the Indian Companies Act.
And how do you think current government legislation impacts on the development of Indian civil society organizations, or NGOs as you put it?
Yeah. It's pretty simple actually in India to set up an NGO. It generally takes you about 4 to 6 months to get a legally registered organization up and running. What is a little more difficult is access to foreign funds or foreign contributions, because our Ministry of Home Affairs regulates NGOs under the Foreign Contributions Regulation Act, which is popularly referred to as the FCRA. And it takes an NGO 3 years of existence and compliance with the due diligence process of the Ministry of Home Affairs to get permission to access foreign contribution. However, it's also possible to get what is called a prior permission or permission to receive foreign contributions from specific entities for amounts within a certain limit if you make an application, but which could also take anywhere about 6 months to a year. I think there are about 35,000 Indian organizations who file annual returns with the Ministry of Home Affairs. It's estimated that India has about 3.3 million NGOs as per some of the recent estimates. However, a published figure is 1.2 million. This is the JHU Priya study. So you can imagine that such a small number actually taps foreign contributions. As far as tax benefits are concerned, tax benefits to donors to NGOs, it's not as attractive as it is in the UK and the US the way I see it. So in a sense, if the government were to be more liberal in the tax breaks that it would give to donors to NGOs, I think philanthropy would really get a tremendous boost.